Welcome to Sports CTO Talks. In this series, we will be connecting with technology leaders in the sports industry, where we will simplify sports technology. I am Ami, your guide on this journey through the minds of amazing tech leaders who are shaping the future of sports. We will dive deep into discussions driving the industry, from AI to cloud, from cybersecurity to sustainability. If it is sports and technology, we are talking about it. Today, we have a very interesting guest, Ms. Damla Ulkebay. I hope I have pronounced it correct, Damla.
That's okay.
A former professional basketball player turned entrepreneur, mentor, and business strategist. Her career spans professional sports, media, education, and athlete development, all driven by a deep passion for her talent discovery and innovation in sports. She has completed the EuroLeague Final Four, earned 32 medals, and was a part of the NJCAA NCAA basketball. Currently, she is leading Benex Sports as international director, shaping the NBA pre-draft training program. She is co-leading Istanbul Fest 2025, a premier 3-on-3 basketball tournament aimed at inspiring young athletes. Through her work, she aims to reshape how talent is identified, developed, and elevated. Now, I'll talk about Ben Exports. It is an athlete development and scouting company focused on bridging the gap between emerging basketball talent and global opportunities. Founded by master NBA shooting coach Benjamin Simons. Benex combines elite training, technology, and data driven scouting to prepare players for success at the highest level. Today, Damla would be talking about how playing professional sports shapes leadership and business. We welcome you, Damla, to the podcast.
I love your intro. That just gave me goosebumps. Thank you very much. It's nice to be seen. I love that. I love how it sounds.
So let's begin.
Mhm.
Like, my first question to you is can you share your journey from professional sports to the business world? And, what has inspired you to the shift?
Um, Curiosity is just moves you, and basketball is just love. So I haven't planned to be a business person in any manner. So I was just following my passion, and then I realized that passion can lead you to success, and some journey starts. Then you learn, and you're kind of emerge out of it, and then impart that information and transfer that knowledge to next generations through business, through education. So that's my journey, kind of.
Okay. So, what was the biggest challenge, or right now, if if are there any challenges you are facing while the transitioning from the court to the leadership roles?
Of course, court is nice. Your comfort zone, and once you're on your stage, you're already excellent in that manner. But life has just different system and different idealizations, and people do not read the game. So once you step out of basketball court and onto life, you can see and read the game, and you automatically become leader. You don't choose to, you don't say I'm going to become a leader, you just automatically become that. So that shift in that challenge, now there's a huge team. In a court, you may have like maximum 16 people. Right now is that's the challenge. I think that's the challenge. That's just,
Okay.
you don't see success quickly. You don't see success on a daily basis like basketball game. It's like you have to now strategize in long term, and you know you have to be patient. So it's like that's huge challenge. That's a huge challenge. And it's like,
Huge challenge. In the basketball game, you are going to get result immediately after the game. While
exactly.
in the leadership role or in the business, it's going to take years together.
Yeah.
True. So, like, did you always see yourself in business after the sports career, or it was an unexpected path, or like, how did you decide to choose this?
I didn't choose it. I just knew it. And one time, I'm gonna not be a basketball player. I'm gonna do something else. Maybe write a book, but I don't know about what. So it's like that kind of I knew it, but I didn't know it. I wasn't picturing like this. That's just that.
Okay. So, like, what are the key leadership qualities you have developed? And I wanted two separate ones, like in the court and on the business side. Like, what are the two, like, few leadership qualities you have developed?
Actually, you as a leadership quality, you know that there's no leader. There's just alpha, and there are betas, and that's just how it is. So, in quality manner, leadership is not to be learned. It's just in life. There are some points that you have to choose, and how you choose is just determine if you're a leader or not. So it's like that's something needs to be done about something, but nobody's doing it, but something needs to be done, and it's in front of you, and you have to do it. If you do it now, you're a leader. You didn't think that you were going to be a leader, but you have to lead. So you're leading, so that's it. That's what
True,
I see. You cannot teach people. You can only teach people how to realize you're a leader. That's it. That's what I see.
true. So, like, what's your role as an international? It can be a player or a mentor. So, like, how does that work? And, like, if you can share a few experiences from your personal journey.
Of course, what if what's right for me is just flows. I know I feel light, even though it just seems impossible. I feel that it's possible, so I can choose by that. I don't. You cannot plan. You cannot maybe logically see what's wise and stuff. So you just feel it and do it. It's like there's no one formula of it.
True. So, like, how does the teamwork and collaboration, like, you might be having a team
Mhm.
across everywhere. So, like, how does that work? How does collaboration work into the sports industry?
Well, it's like you lose together. When you
True,
lose together, when you realize you lose together, and how you lose is just seem obvious all the time. You see, if one person lacks of, let's say, lacks of that heart, do the half job, cheats, look for shortcuts, you're losing. So it's like you cannot afford that. But once everybody's just full-heartedly over there and really trying to do the job done, you don't even care who's just doing mistake. You're just trying to really do your job, do everybody's job. So it's like there's no me. So if you reach that level, success comes. So you know that.
true,
That's what I see.
true, true, true. So, like, how do scouting companies work? And, what is the trend in the industry which you have seen? Like, as you're working into that.
Trend in the industries, some underserved countries needed some education and some, let's say, higher life standards. And now the trend is going sports scholarships, athletic scholarships wise, trends going like wild. We see that in United States, Like high schools have 4 teams. Nice. Now it's like mega scholarship opportunities over there. And all they ask is that heart and that compatibility. So it's like once you're compatible with that, you can have what's for you over there. So in that manner, the trend is everybody's looking for that, of course. It's just like
True.
East is shifting North America, kind of.
Okay. Okay.
So that's the trend. So you can just help that shift.
All right. So, like, as a basketball player, like, when you were young, then when you grew up to be a team, and then you were in your college, or, like, what was the journey like that? And how can a basketball player back then and today, like, what are the shifts you are seeing? Like, good shifts, bad shifts?
Well, good question. That's a good question. Um, as a basketball player, it's not just as a basketball player, it's sports players,
Absolutely.
all sports players, mostly who are driving the industry, who are spinning the world, is affecting the people, impacting the people. And it's like a range of impact. Those people have that range of impact. So they have to move, or what they interact with needs to move. They have to impact many, many, many people. So that means in your journey, you're going to develop faster, you're going to improve faster, of course, but you're going to run. You're going to run from one place to other place to other place to other place. Like you're going to move with your energy, just be a role model over here, be a role model over it. So it's like, if you're a good sports player, of course, if you deserve that impacts respect. So it's like sports players needs to know that they cannot stick to just one place. They're not here to stick to one place. So
Okay.
they better get ready for that, or they're gonna be so disappointed. So and we're trying to teach them realize that kind of. We cannot tell you that, but we can give you the hint about how you're gonna get your life together and just be prepared for it. So that's why we're just in BenX. We're saying that Benjamin Simmons just created a family in United States. We're not from United States. It's like your dad in the industry who's gonna get your back. So that's what we need. We need those young pioneers to be taken care of, so they can sprout and become the beauty that they really are. So it's like that's sports players' job, and they're not here to be just solely sports players. They're just it's not just that simple.
True.
So they better realize that and see that and be ready for that. That's it.
So, like, how has your experience into high pressure sports situations helped you in dealing with the business side or, the real world?
I don't know which one's real word. I don't know.
Okay.
Who's supporting the sports players?
Okay.
Real word, global corporate organizations being the sponsors. Who's the face? All right. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know.
True, true, true. So, like, like, are there any examples where you have applied a game time strategy? Like, you have thought that, yeah, this is absolutely right, and this is going to, you can replicate it today.
Hmm. Strategy. That's something spiritual, I guess.
Okay.
That's just not, I shouldn't say that. They have to find it themselves.
All
Like
right.
information without love is dangerous. I cannot teach love. I can just be love, but that's it. They have to find themselves. They are looking for the information. They're trying to control the information. If you don't have the true intention, purity, like love, sorry, you're not gonna make it. The
True.
all the information you're trying to gather from me is like not gonna work with you. So I cannot tell them.
Okay.
Somebody needs to be beaten, somebody needs to be bullied, somebody needs to be somebody needs to lose, somebody needs to win. Who decides that? I don't. I
True.
cannot give I cannot give you the answer. You have to know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Everyone has to identify by themselves
exactly.
over the period of
That's the
time.
point. I cannot teach you love. That's
Okay.
it. Mhm.
So, do you think former athletes have an edge in terms of work compared
Yes,
to
yes.
the newbies?
Of course, of
Okay.
course. You're moving, your kinesthetic intelligence is high, emotional intelligence is high, IQ is high, analytic brain is high, nature-wise, motion-wise, intelligence, all right. Okay, now what's left? Spiritual intelligence. Come on, you're already a pioneer. You're just in that shift. Of course, you know better, but
Okay.
your life is harder. So it's like, what am I to say? So, of course, they have that gene.
So, what are the habits, which you had as a sports player, you still carry on today?
Yeah, of course, there are some bad ones. Like you think everything needs to be done instead of
Okay.
you just surrender and wait things to get settled. You don't have that. No, you learn that. You know, in sports, you think you have to do something. It's just like once you step in life, you think you have to do something about it. Well, nobody's asking for you to do something about it. It's not
Okay.
just you right now, thank God. So
Okay.
yeah, that's good. So that's a bad one. Another bad one is like you think you're being followed, you think you're being watched, but it's coming from that stage performance stuff. You're always watching yourself. You're always trying to be careful, not make a mistake. Come on, relax, make your mistake. That's too much pressure.
Too much pressure.
That's too much pressure. We
Okay.
have to release ourselves from that.
I'll ask you a very cliche question, but I genuinely want an answer to this.
That's it.
Like, it is sports and you being a female in the sports, right?
Yeah.
So, how does it work? Is it the same for you as the male counterparts? Or, is it different business wise, sports wise, or has it shifted over the period of time? The outlook to the sports industry has changed.
Sure, yeah, of course it has changed, but woman has become masculine also. Man became feminine, and it's like everything is shifted. But let's see. Um, I don't know. It's like warrior is a warrior. It's like a soul is when the soul is warrior. It's kind of like it doesn't matter if you're a woman or male. That just doesn't matter. So it's like we're just trying to point out that woman gender is being underserved, but actually we think they deserve more. So we become women, we just show that. But then we're like, do we want more? We don't even know. We'll see. We'll see. But I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think men are getting too much money, or I don't think women are getting too less money. I just don't think that.
Okay.
It's just the impact.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
nice to hear.
thanks.
So, what are two or three leadership styles which you have carried on from a coach to a captain, or and which you have adopted? Just two or three.
I can say instead of that, I can say it as a leader. I can say that. We had the captain of Fenerbahce pro team, women's basketball team, captain setup, Yücesir. I was 15 going on 16, and my other friend was like 15 years old. So we had to start getting into trainings and practices with the pro team, but we are like young, and she is like 40 years old at that time, running like, come on, full power. We're like behind of the team. And she waited. She she slowed down. She grabbed me and my friend. You are the youngest in this team. You have to run faster than me. I'm going to stay over here till you pass me. And she was like, I am 40 years old. And I realized leader is not always standing up in front. It's like thinking of the one who's at last and thinking like, if I hold that part, make it better, everybody needs to get better, of course. Leader is that. So it's like, what I learned is that I appreciated a lot, and then it taught me a lot. So I never forget that. So a leader
Okay.
needs to be, coach needs to be that. Yeah, you got me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, what is one sport according to you, not basketball, which everyone should adopt over the period of time? Any sport,
Hmm.
which is
Well,
necessary.
to me, there are two kind of sports. That's it. One of them is just a tunnel vision sports. The other one is like peripheral vision sports. One of them is like needed single focus point, laser shot focus. And the other one is peripheral vision,
Okay.
like moving waves. You have to calculate, harmonize with that, and flow with that. So there are two types of sports. So both are important, I think. I'm not that good in tunnel vision, but I'm good
Hmm.
at peripheral vision. So I need to work on the tunnel vision. Now I'm teaching tunnel vision.
Okay. Interesting.
Interesting. So it's like,
Yeah.
because I couldn't do it. That's why I had to know how I can do it. Now I know, I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know that. I wish I knew that. Let me just teach that.
True.
It's so it's like whatever you're lacking, just try the other one.
Okay. Okay. That's nice. So, as a athlete, how do you see the role of athletes in business? Is it evolving? Is it helping them?
Of course, of course. Uh, Again, a great question. It's impacting everything.
It is.
That's how strategically they are dispersed in this globe. And it's impacting everything. That's why I said, who's the real life? Who's the real life? Corporates are backing up the athlete. So it's like athlete is that important. So it's like a domino piece is like all of them are so precious, so precious.
True. So,
Yeah.
being an experienced athlete and with a
Hmm.
ton load of experience into the field also. So, what is one piece of advice you would give the upcoming athletes making the transition into the business world?
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, Tough one.
Tough one.
Okay, if you can answer two or three, that is also okay.
Okay. Good days are over, baby.
That's a nice one. That's a nice one.
Now the real work starts.
Real work stats. Agree,
Exactly.
agree.
I wish I could play still, but no.
Absolutely love this answer. The real world stats now.
But that's life.
That is life. Okay. So, we'll move on to the next segment of the podcast. That is the rapid fire round. I will ask you a few questions. You will have to be very quick in answering. You cannot think, okay? Whatever comes to mind immediately.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah. What's tougher, a high stakes sports final or a high stakes business meeting? This meeting.
What stops me?
Okay. If you could pick any athlete, past or present, as your business partner, who would it be? Name
Kobe,
one.
Kobe Bryant.
Okay. Okay.
But that's why I'm working with Benjamin Simmons though.
Absolutely. So one pre-game ritual you still follow before big meetings.
Oh, hmm. Music.
Okay. What's the best sports movie that also teaches a great business lesson?
Hmm. Titans.
Okay. If leadership had a mascot, what animal would it be?
Nah, no, no.
No. Okay.
Okay.
And next one.
Hmm.
Would you rather coach a champion winning team or lead a billion-dollar startup?
Champion winning team, of course.
Okay. What's one sports phrase that perfectly applies to business?
Uh, think of it. It's still 0 to 0 to me. To me, it's like I mean, to me, yes.
Absolutely. If your leadership style was a sports move, what would it be?
No
Like,
look pass.
okay, okay, perfect, perfect. Now the next segment is you will have to answer the question into 30 seconds. What is AI in sports from the ground up to business?
Meeting point.
Okay.
Mm.
What is, according to you, artificial intelligence these days is shaping, from the coaching field, from the athletes to the businesses?
Um, postman. It's like a postman.
Okay, interesting. That's a good answer.
Thanks.
Okay. Damla, would you like to share any few, parting words before the podcast to all our listeners and viewers?
I really enjoyed being with you guys and answering these questions. I hope I can be of some service to people who can grasp what I'm saying. And I thank you for giving this opportunity to me. I like
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Damla, for your wonderful insights and joining us today.
I thank
Ev-
you.
Everyone, let's stay connected and for more understanding on sports technology in the future. And don't forget to miss on any episode and share this podcast with your friends, family, and the people who love sports and technology. That was Damla sharing her insights today. Thanks for tuning in, and let's meet in the next episode. Until then, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep exploring.
Thank